don't wanna be on the ground when the time flies. Had so many friends go, I wonder when it's my time. I live every day like I'll die by the nighttime. It took me so long getting back to my right mind. I don't wanna be on the ground when the time flies. Had so many friends go, I wonder when it's my time. I live every day like I'll die by the nighttime. It took me so long getting back to my right mind. 5 days straight, no rest, oh well. I don't need no scale. I've been on my, I don't need no help. Always getting money, rain, snow, sleet. Every day I work my thumb. I don't get to take off. A hater get up. I'm ready like lift off. I never been nowhere, but I'm ready to stay gone. Nothing ever lasts long. I'm always beating the odds. Taking all these trips, I had to go and get a pass.
Appreciate you, Coach. Well, later tonight in November, snowfall is forecasted to hit the Twin Cities, but right now, calm outside, and, of course, a calm day inside U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it, this crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the New York Giants and the Minnesota Vikings. And in hindsight, probably should have stayed where he was, as he'll only get back to the 16-yard line.
What? 50, plant. 53. Hey, echo.
Mike, 53. 53. Mike. Watch the screen. Watch the screen. Check.
On 1st and 10, Rich. Oh, he's going to air it out right away. And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. Second down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice, getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10.
Go.
Throwing again. Rich. Looking for Diggs, and it's intercepted. Picked off at about the 31. And he'll return it to the 24-yard line. Now, they told us repeatedly earlier in the week in our meetings, we need some plays from our defense here on the road early. They got one.
And don't think they were above all week long, pointing out to their defense that the other defense is rated higher than them. You going to let that happen, guys? Is that how we're going to play? And they responded to the challenge.
On the ground, this is Saquon Barkley. And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
From the 22, Jackson. He's going to go up top for the end zone. And that is caught. He's got it for a giant touchdown. Saquon Barkley hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Well, he wasn't the guy they were initially going for, but after going through the progressions, it worked.
When you have plenty of people who can catch the football, you don't always have to go to your primary target, and sometimes that target is actually covered. Nice job coming off of that and getting it to someone who was open.
And the man out of the backfield gets in for the score. That's fielded in the end zone. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And, Charles, if the season ended today, it's not going to. We still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak can have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. He'll get 15 and a Vikings first down.
Let's go.
Vikings first down. First and 10 at the 36-yard line.
Here we go.
So from the 36 now, first and 10.
Mike 53. I'm trying to collect. He gets
61, matchbox lights. Smooth. Hey. Fine.
They just do get the playoff as he'll look to throw. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense, when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
Ready,
They'll
break.
try again from the 36 on second and 10.
Check. Hey, Alpha. Hey. Let's go.
To throw again. Rich. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a third down.
It's a lot of contact going on there, and in the end, unable to keep two hands on the football and bring it into his body.
Everything looked pretty good until the finish. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a third and 10.
Mike 53. 53.
Five. Be Griffin.
Looking to throw. Rich. And he's able to find Diggs. 17 yards, first down, Vikings.
Well, we always hear about the connections some quarterbacks have with certain receivers. I think this guy has a connection with just about everyone. Didn't mind throwing it in there against double coverage to him.
Shows some confidence, supreme confidence.
Big-time confidence that he would make the play for him, and he did.
Look at me. Zip
So the
her.
drive takes him into Giants territory now, first and 10 at the 47. Back to throw. Rich. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up second down.
Yeah, that one sailed on him. You've got to make sure you give your receiver a chance to come down inbounds because they are very gifted. They'll make the circus catches, but if they make them out of bounds, that does you no good.
After the incomplete pass, here now is second and 10. Throwing again. Rich. And this is Cook with a grab. Cook stripped. The ball's out. And the Giants have it. It's picked up. And he's got daylight. It's a foot race. And this is taken into the end zone. A fumble recovery and a Giants touchdown. Even the great ones, some of the best, they're not immune to the fumble, and here it really hurts them.
If the ball gets away from any runner's body, that's when the defense pokes at it, swipes at it, swats at it, and finds a way to create a big play for themselves.
PAT up and good by Rosas, and it's now 14-0. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. That'll be taken in the end zone. And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 as he's taken down right at the 20. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and...
And that's caught inside the 30. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Colby Listenby. An 80-yard touchdown as his guys are on the board here in this first quarter. The extra point splits the uprights, and that'll make our score 14-7. 14, Vikings 7. This game back within a touchdown now as the kickoff's away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he will be brought down here at about the 17-yard line. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Second and 10 at the 17-yard line.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. Now Jackson. He's going to air one out. And got his man complete. The previous play, they barely got back to the line of scrimmage. Now they pick up over 30 yards.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great. And what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big game.
Motion. 57. Mike, 57.
Throwing now, Jackson on first down. And that is incomplete, but a penalty flag is down. This could possibly be a push-off. Looked like some hands both ways. They got it on the offense.
And sometimes there's a fine line between being the receiver and the DB, and he knocked that one away. Might have caused an incompletion that could have been an interception.
Come on, set. What the play? Let's set a tone, fellas. Let's set a tone.
After the penalty, they go with Barkley. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. No gain on the play there. 2nd down.
No gain on the play. Brings up 2nd down at the 41-yard line.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Jackson escaping the pressure right. And that's incomplete.
Oh, I like that right there. Not only was it the right play, throwing it away like that, frankly, I think it was the only play.
Yeah, got outside of the pocket, realized he had nothing, just chucked it free.
Yeah, live to fight another down, right?
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. From the gun, Jackson Flush to his, and a big loss here as he's taken down. Anthony Barr comes rumbling in for the sack.
Brandon, what I remember most about playing with guys who knew how to rush the passer, they would just tell you, just cover people for me, just long enough for me to get there. And that's exactly what happened on that play.
The punt team on now as Pinion sends this one away. This is taken at about the 14. Through one quarter, 14-7 our score. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And last time the formula was pretty simple. One play drive, long pass. That maybe they just want to do that again, right?
And that's exactly how you want to draw things up. Whether it's on your grease board, right, in your playbook, one play drive's exactly what you want on offense. What they have to be careful of is not having a letdown. It was real easy last time. They can't expect that going forward.
Yeah, we'll see if it's that easy here. It's a gain of 16, and the Vikings have the first down as well.
Well, that play looks familiar because we saw them working on it in practice this week. And for a lineman trying to block on this play, they love when they get the defense moving in one direction, and when they try and change directions, it's a lot easier to pick them up and ward them off.
From all the way up at the 38 now after a good start to the drive.
Watch the pass. Watch the pass.
Hey, Orbit.
53 is the mic. Pick it up, guys. Pick it up.
Looking to throw. Rich. That's caught by the tight end, Irv Smith Jr.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before you get a good head of steam going.
2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down. Cook. And not much there at all. Maybe a yard up to the 43. They follow up the gain of 5 by only getting 1 there on 2nd down.
But they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you got to continue to try and run and try and keep the defense honest.
You mean or else they'll just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter.
Ready.
53's mine. Check 53.
Now. Yo, hit it.
Back to throw. Rich. That'll be complete to Cook. And he will be very close to a first down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down.
Well, it wasn't a big strike, but that completion put them in really great. Range. What do we have now? 4th and inches?
Yeah, it's not more than a half a foot.
You know what I would do here?
You would always go for it.
I'm one of those guys.
And the head coach reaches for the red flag, tosses it down on the field. He wants a challenge here.
On the ready.
53. Check 53. Oh, damn, punk.
80 weapon. Hey, Foxtrot.
That's a what? 53 is the mic. 53 is the mic.
Ready?
On first down, Rich. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's second down.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
So now second and 10 after the incompletion on first down.
Five.
To throw again, Rich. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Dexter Lawrence able to record his 5th sack of the season. And we say it all the time, have to be able to get rid of the ball sooner than that.
You have to help your offensive line out. They're going to protect you as best they can. And if you're getting 3 to 5 seconds to throw the ball, they're doing a really nice job. But when you hold it and give up a sack, you're really almost discrediting their work.
Set up. 60 outlaw. Pilot. 64. Weak.
Bang, bang,
Hey, Delta.
bang, bang.
Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside.
Down. 50. Plant.
Mike is 59. Mike is 59.
Hey, zoom.
Watch safety creep. Watch safety creeping. Safety's creeping.
Let's go.
Throwing on third and long. Rich going deep for Diggs. And that's caught inside the 35.
Here we go.
A gain of 32 that time.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's first and 10 just outside the 30.
We got this. We got this.
Sleep grip. Sleep grip.
Looking to throw. Rich. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off inside the 10. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
When a team's turned it over 3 times in the first half, we just look at the offense and say, guys, what are you doing? But instead, we really should be looking at the defense. They've created the takeaways. 2 interceptions, 1 caused fumble. They played awfully well swarming to the ball here in the first half.
Yeah, let's get sack lunch.
They'll start out on the ground, and Saquon Barkley. Despite a little sizzle on the move, he's still tackled shy of the 20. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
To throw on second and 6, Jackson. And he's going to go down. Back at his own 5-yard line, it's a sack. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes. To throw is Jackson. Oh, and this is going to wind up a safety. And Charles, at some point, you can't keep worrying about big play. Can this be perfect? You just have to get the ball out of the end zone.
And in the offensive huddle, that was discussed when they called the play. Just get out of the end zone. But you know what's interesting? A lot of the times in the defensive huddle, they actually call a set and then say at the end of it, get a safety. So it's preached, it's coached, it's thought about.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And 2 picks thrown here in this first half alone. We'll see how that affects him.
Can't wait to see where his confidence is, because the great ones, they'll throw 4 or 5 picks, and while it'll hurt their team, it won't hurt their confidence. They'll think something was just wrong with the ball or the wind or something was funny. It's never about them. That's how they stay so into the moment and into the game.
Airing it out deep for Smith, and that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's second down.
Sure, that pass was incomplete as they made an attempt to get a big one downfield, but that's okay, because the second part of that is if you don't get the completion, at least you've told the defense you're trying to stretch them out a little bit, and they may have to change accordingly.
From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10.
Hey, wahoo!
Check. 53's Mike. Check. 53's Mike.
Go.
Throwing again. Rich. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Operating from the gun, Rich. And he finds Cook. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. It's a gain of 20 and picking up the first.
60 yards.
Throwing on 1st down, Rich. Complete, Smith has it. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
Let's go now.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6.
We want it. Come to Bravo.
2nd and 6. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And they take possession 2 yards away from midfield at the 48-yard line. First down carry for Barkley. And he's corralled at the 40, but not before picking up 8.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Now Saquon Barkley, and he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. The Giants going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop him with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. So 3rd and 2, this quite possibly 4-down territory, though, if they're stopped.
57's the mic. Watch 57. Go, go. Under 10. Under 10. 10.
Jackson from the shotgun. That's complete. He's got Barkley out of the backfield. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Now the Giants will use the second of their 3 timeouts, as the stoppage will come with 23 seconds to go till halftime. They'll throw on first down with Jackson. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Anthony Barr in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. The Giants going to burn their third and final timeout as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1. So second and long, and got to be careful not to fall out of field goal range.
Mike 22 is coming. 22's coming. Mike.
Here I come. Mike 22. Mike 22.
Don't let him breathe. Don't let him. Don't let him breathe, defense. Mike 22 is coming. 22's coming. Mike.
Jackson sliding out of the pocket. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. The defensive end, Daniil Hunter, drops him. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long. So we've come to halftime at a 5-point game. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Second half ready to get rolling. The Giants with a lead, and they are set to receive this kick. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line.
First and 10 at their own 19-yard line.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. They have the lead now. They'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another first and 10.
55 to Mike. Check 55 to Mike.
Oh, yeah, I'm coming. Oh, yeah, I'm coming.
From the gun, it's Jackson. And Jackson cannot get away, and he'll go down. Daniil Hunter picks up his second sack of the afternoon.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now second down and 22 yards to go. Throwing is Jackson. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. A fight for the football, and it's intercepted. Xavier Rhodes with a pick. And they have possession, and they have it at the 38-yard line. They set themselves behind the chains, tried to get it all back in one play, and it backfired.
Didn't it feel like a pitcher working his way into a 3-0 count, right? You're behind. What do your coaches always tell you? Get it back one pitch at a time. In this case, they tried to get it back right away, and it didn't work out.
Go. Now.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off near the 44. And he'll take it across midfield and down to the 48-yard line. Just a little bit of a rough stretch. 6 interceptions now in these last 2 weeks combined.
I know the easy thing is to go back to mechanics, footwork, things of that nature. I'm also wondering, is he getting fooled by what he's seeing on defense? Has the scouting report changed? Are they showing him things different than what he expected? For the second week in a row, he's throwing it to the guys in the wrong color shirts.
Yeah, he better figure, whatever the reason is, he better figure it out. They'll try and get this run game going. This is Barkley. He takes it down to the 42, a 5-yard run.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. They'll go to Barkley again. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin too.
3rd and 2. Here's Jackson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The sack by big number 98, Linval Joseph.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
Now let's see how the offense still out there. They elect to go on 4th and 11. They'll try and throw for it with Jackson. And they will not be able to hook up there. It's incomplete. The Giants go on 4th but come up empty. And this defense will take over right near midfield at the 49-yard line. Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10. Just shy of midfield at the 49. He's got the first down and more inside the 40. And all the way down to the 33-yard line. Give them 18 there and give the Vikings a first down.
Well, as we've learned over the years, just because a guy plays left tackle doesn't mean he doesn't have run blocking abilities. And we just saw it there. Controlled the line of scrimmage, created a big gain.
That's kind of a bonus. He's there to protect that high value that you have back under center, but he creates space in the run game.
Yeah, not only can he dance, he can mash too.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33.
Check 26, check 26. Check your hot read. Look, squeeze. Ready.
And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. Parker unable to get that one, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
Here we go. 8, read. I'm going to run you over. I'm going to run you over.
Mike.
Hey, Charlie.
53, Mike.
No gain on this defense. No.
2nd and 14. And he finds Parker here, complete. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. They get 14 there. First down, Vikings.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Under a minute to go in this 3rd quarter as they come up 1st and 10. A toss to Cook. He'll have a first down inside the 10. And finally taken down at the 4-yard line. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18. Offensive line right now really freeing up the rushing lanes on this drive.
And we have to give them props. They've earned them. But these big runs that we're seeing, they don't result without everyone else being involved as well. Blocking on the perimeter has to take place downfield too.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And it'll be 2nd and goal.
At the 6-yard line.
And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Second and goal from the 6 this time.
Let's put them on the buses. Let's put them.
coming right. This is Cook on the toss play. And a minuscule gain of maybe a yard from the 6 to the 5.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
Well, they've been so good on third down all day long. Can they convert another here on third and goal? Back to throw. Rich. And oh, it'll be intercepted. Good positioning, and it's picked off. Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offensive coordinator, the quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm.
On the run, it's Barkley. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
The rush defense stout on first down. Here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Now it's Jackson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
The Giants on third down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 16. From the gun, Jackson in trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line.
My, oh my, they've had some success bringing him off the edge. How about the gambling man who's the defensive coordinator? He's not just bringing pressure, he's bringing a corner to go after the quarterback.
And it's worked twice now, twice like a charm.
And not only has that worked like a charm, he's been awfully disruptive in his usual role covering receivers. Now he's rushing the passer as well.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know what, a good one going.
And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Zadarius Smith in there to get him. It's a loss of 5. He was trying to keep his eyes downfield. Nobody came open.
He's trying to do everything that he had been taught, right? Every bit of the technique. But if no one's open, there is no technique except make sure you hold on to the ball as you go to the ground when you're getting sacked.
Hey, echo. Get it.
Off the play fake. Rich. Going deep for Diggs. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time. Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long. Looking to throw. Rich. It's complete to Diggs. And he's going to be stopped here at the 43, and that is not near enough to pick up the first. They do get 9, but it leads to 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they've rallied and made the tackle.
One score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down.
Alpha. Hey, drop that.
On 4th down, Rich. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. This home crowd, they're happy with that call.
I like the way you said happy there, right? The so-called good guys didn't get a call. They feel like it's been that way all afternoon. You feeling their pain?
They finally got one.
Yes, they did.
So a big play as it gets them all the way down to the 20 now for 1st and 10. Cook following the penalty. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. 4th quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game.
Baby, get him, boys. Get him, boys.
So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Back to throw. Buying time to his left. He's going to take off with it. It's just a gain of a couple there on the scramble, and now it's 3rd down.
How about a tip of the cap to the defense? They're working against a very mobile quarterback, but all day long they've kept him under wraps. And on that play, they held him to a short gain.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. Well, the 2 men come together, and it's incomplete. Excellent work defensively, brings up 4th down. Figuring they're going for it on 4th down. Remember, though, they do have all 3 timeouts, so even if they don't get it, all is not lost.
Yeah, normally in this situation, when you're talking about having to go for it, everything is in this play. But as you noted, with those 3 timeouts, they actually have a little bit of a safety net.
And down by 5, they've got to go for it here on 4th down. On 4th down, Rich. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Zadarius Smith. And the Giants are going to get the football back. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. They have the lead, still a one-possession game, but the defense got the stop. They've got the football now, just salted away, right?
Exactly. That's all the defense is counting on from their offense. They did their job in a big way. You know they're over on the sidelines now starting to take their tape off, and, hey, we've done this thing. The offense has to put it away, and that means ball security.
Absolutely. Stranger things have happened. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Again, it's Barkley. And some strong running. And now they're going to get him down right at the line of scrimmage. Now the Vikings will use the 2nd of their timeouts as they stop it here with 1:07 remaining. An extra defender in the secondary for the Vikings here on 3rd down. Out of the shotgun, they run with Barkley. And they're going to get him down well short of the first as he can only get this to the 30. The Vikings going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they get the stoppage with just over a minute to go in the game. So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away.
The Vikings take over 1st and 10 at their own 12-yard line.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. They're down here in a one-score game, but the time, it's a factor, but it's not a huge factor right now, is it?
It's really not, because this amount of time gives them a chance to run their offense, to go through play sequences. And this is what they work on every week in practice, usually on a Friday. They go over this type of a situation, late-game situation. What are we going to do when we have the opportunity? They've called these plays a bunch of times. Now's their chance to execute them.
Yeah, they have the opportunity now. Here's the execution. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10.
They're not ready for this. They still playing soft.
He's back to throw. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Zadarius Smith in there to drop him as that clock continues to run.
Look at me. Go.
Back to throw. Flushed out right. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Zadarius Smith. Who else? He's in there for his 4th sack of the afternoon. One final shot. They'll look to throw. Now a desperation throw. Deep down. Well, this is taken in. It's complete. And all the way up to the 47-yard line. Well, going into the final play of this game, they knew that they needed some type of a miracle there at the very end, but they couldn't get it done. However, we were treated to really a spectacular affair.
Even though they didn't finish it off, you're exactly right. They took us down to the last play. You're wondering, could it happen? Possibly, even though we both knew it was a long shot.
So for the Giants, the win will help them keep pace in the playoff race as they move to 6-3 on the year. And another road date awaits them next week as their opponents will be the Los Angeles Chargers. Meanwhile, for Minnesota, they'll lose an important one here as that drops them to 5-4 on the season. And they'll try and turn things around next week as they have a date at Soldier Field with the Chicago Bears. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our entire crew. We'll catch you next time right here. It's the NFL on EA Sports.